Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Carla Jerome with the Grace Company, and today I'm going to talk to you about our quilting feet. We have some amazing feet that will add more dynamics and make quilting a little more fun for you by trying new ways of using these feet to enhance your quilting. So let me just jump in and show you. I'm going to talk to you about two different box set of feet. So we have our 3-piece hopping foot set, and what comes with it is it has a ruler foot, it has an open toe foot, and it has a micro stipple foot. All fun and easy to use, and I'm going to show you. Then I'm going to talk about our 9-piece foot set, and I'm going to tell you a little story about how these came to be, but these are really fun and exciting because within this one set of feet you get 9 different styles of quilting feet, and it just is so much fun to use. And so let's jump in and let's talk about how they're used and what designs you can create when using the different style of feet. So let's start out with the 3-piece hopping foot set. And when you order, you want to order specifically for your machine. So look at your machine and notice if it's a Qnique 15, the 15R and Pro series use the same feet. And then if it's a Qnique 19, it's going to have its own set of feet. And if you have a Qnique 21, it has its own set, and 21 Pro has a different set as well. And the difference is this. Each of these sets come with a little collar piece. And notice right here on this machine here, this one has the old style foot. It's the longer shaft. So when you are using these new feet, you will get a new collar piece. And this is the collar piece right here. It's this little shaft that goes around where the needle sits on it. So it's right here, and you'll be replacing that to use these new style feet. Now I'm not going to show you how to replace that because we already have a video on that. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to use and change and replace your feet. Don't be afraid, and don't think it's time consuming, because it's really not. It's very easy to do. And I like to unthread my needle when I'm changing the feet, just because they probably will come undone. And you have to have your needle in the up position to change them off. And you will need your 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. And I like to just keep it out and on hand because I use it so often. I will use it to change feet, and so it's always on hand. So what you're going to do is, you see this little screw right here. This is the thumb screw that holds the foot onto the hopping foot shaft. And so I'm just going to take it, and sorry about my little brace there. I'm going to unscrew this foot. And don't be afraid, because really it is so easy to do. And using the different feet, it's so much fun. And I don't want you to be stuck thinking that you have to use the same old foot, the same old thread, the same needle. Change your needles if you're not, all the time. I get bored, and I hope you get a little bored too, so that you want to try new things. Okay, so notice how quickly I was able to take that off. So now I'm just going to jump over here and get my ruler foot. The ruler foot has a higher shaft all the way around it. And the reason it's higher is so that it can go around your templates. So when you're purchasing templates or rulers, okay, for quilting, you want to make sure that they're 1/4 inch thick, because that's the little shank size that will work with your hopping foot. If you use your regular foot, let me just show you here. It's a hopping foot, so as it's hopping, it's going to hop up onto the ruler, break your needles, break your rulers, and you don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that you're using the correct foot for the style of quilting that you're doing. Let's change the foot. So I'm going to put my ruler foot on, and I'm just going to put it on the shaft here, and I want to pull it up off so that you can see my little hole where my needle goes down into. Okay? You need to see that. So don't do this over your fabric, because you won't get the correct height when you're quilting. So you have to change your feet off of the fabrics. So I'm just going to put this on the shaft here. Right there. Okay, so now it's on the shaft. Now I want to just barely put my little thumb screw back into place. I don't want to tighten it all the way down. I just want to put it into place. Because in each set you get what we call our hopping foot height gauge. And this is what it looks like. It's a little flat piece. So I'm going to just put my needle in the down position. So I'm just going to use my buttons on my handle. Now my needle is in the down position. And now I can set my foot height. So now I have my hopping foot height gauge underneath my foot, and it's going to set it to the correct height. And now it's as easy as this. And yes, if you didn't have a broken hand, you could do it that much faster. See, that didn't take that much time, even with my wrist. So anyway, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to show you. See how close it is? But it's high enough off of there that it's not going to set it too high. Now, if you are skipping stitches, then chances are your hopping foot is up too high. So check your height of your hopping foot all the time. It's just really important that you do that, especially if you're skipping stitches. But see, I can put that gauge underneath it. It's going to work really well. And now I can bring my needle up and I can thread it really quick. Next, we'll talk about the accessory that you need to use, not only a ruler to do ruler work. Ruler work is so much fun. Don't limit yourself to just quilting either with automation all the time or just doing the free motion stipple on all your quilts. Oh God, think of the fun you can have by using the different feet and quilting different ways. So with the ruler foot, you'll need what we call a ruler base. And the ruler base is just a table that fits around the arm of the machine. It's got a little clamp to clamp it underneath, but it has a little open area right here. And this is how you'll slide it on the arm of your machine. And you'll want your needle in the up position. So now this is going to be the surface that you're going to use your templates on. And you can slide it up underneath your fabrics. Okay, when you're using any template or ruler, you need an important item, and that's our true grips. These true grips are going to help you stabilize as you're quilting, and especially with my arm being the way it is, it's really going to help me so I don't have to put as much pressure on it, and it's going to stabilize it as I'm moving around my template or my ruler. So I want to show you how great they are, okay? So this ruler right here, I love our True Cut rulers because of that raised edge. I use them all the time, and I have my numbering system, and I have the holes to hold them so it helps stabilize them all the time. So notice that as I'm quilting, how easily it slides because I don't have my true grips. Well, on this circle template, I do. I have the little tiny ones. I have several of them around. So if I was going around it, see how easily it stabilizes it? So I'm easily able to go around it as I'm quilting. Okay? So notice right here that my ruler base, that this pole right here is rubbing. You don't want it rubbing, so you'll have to raise your pole up. So we'll just raise that up so it's not rubbing against. So we have free movement and we don't feel that pressure or that extra resistance. So make sure that you're raising your pole, this take-up pole, up as you're quilting it, because as it fills up with fabric, you're going to start feeling that resistance, and it's going to make it harder and harder for you to move your machine around and make it much more difficult for the machine, and you might even get larger stitches. It might just kind of throw it off. So really watch this. Now, if you have what we call an idler pole, it's not going to be a problem because you don't need to worry about that setting. But I don't have the idler pole on this one, so I do need to worry about that as I'm quilting. But it's okay for right now. I barely have enough room, but in just a little bit, I might have to raise it one more roll, and it will have to be raised. Okay, so I want to add my true grips onto my ruler here so it's not sliding. And I'm just going to take it, and notice on the back of these rulers here, we have little places for the true grips. So I'm just going to put one, and up in the corners, it's really important because just like when you're cutting and you're moving your cutter along the edge of the ruler, you don't want it to slip and slide at the ends as you're starting and stopping. So make sure you use as many as you need to stabilize your rulers and your templates, just to make quilting that much easier. So with the right tools, boy, you can do some amazing things. So I'm almost done here. Okay, I just have one more to put. Okay, and with this, I have my lines and stuff. So right now I'm just going to play around and just show you how much fun. And I'll show you how to do a circle. Let's start with the circle first, because I have a nice little spot right here that we can put a circle on. When you're using a circle template, you want to start down at the bottom, like at 6, right here, if you're using your clock. And then as you move around it, you want to make sure that you're keeping that foot all around the edge of the ruler, and then you're just going all the way around. But by starting at the bottom of that, it's going to keep it so that when you come back around, your lines are going to match up. So let's start that, and let me show you how it works. Okay, so right now I want to pull up my bottom thread, always important when you're quilting. And so I'm just going to push my needle down and needle up right next to my ruler here. Okay, so now I pulled my bottom thread up, okay, and I have my long little tail off to the side. I'm going to hold it with this hand and guide with my right hand, all right, and I'm just going to turn it around, and the further you can get around this side, holding it down, the better it's going to be matching up all the way around the diameter of your circle template. So I'm just going to go around, and notice it's kind of a 1/4 inch offset all the way around as I'm quilting. I just want to keep it stabilized as I'm coming around. And see how nicely it matched back up here at the bottom. And let me pull it away, and I'm going to make a tail to bring my bottom thread up. But see how nice it matched up by holding it stable. If I hadn't had those true grips, it would have been flopping around and not as stable. So I'm just going to come back. Now you can tie it off if you want to, and then just pull my thread up. I inserted the needle, and I'm just going to use my little clippers here and clip all my threads, and I'll show you my pretty little circle. Looks nice, doesn't it? Perfect little circle using the ruler foot and a circle template. Now let's put some lines in it. And let's use the curve on it. So when you're using your curve, and then we'll just fill it in. Okay, so I'm kind of guesstimating right here. So I'm going to do one curve this direction and then flip it and do another curve in another direction. So sometimes, yeah. So I'm just going to kind of come up here. I want to pull my threads up again. Make sure you're doing that. Pull them up and out. I'm going to kind of eyeball it here, and now I want to come around and just do like a little half moon. Oh, I kind of got off because I moved. That's okay. We're just showing you how it works, and it's because my finger kind of got in the way there. So now I'm going to kind of make a chip like this, and I'm going to make them all meet, and I'm going to go back around this way. Okay, so now I have this little shape in there, and I can do lots of different things, okay? So I can just kind of go loops all the way along and just fill it in. Or I could have done a figure 8 all the way down. That could have been fun as well. Just have fun And now put a practice quilt on and just make it fun. Okay, kind of fun. Okay, so as you're quilting and you're using the ruler base, I want you to notice what will happen. Make sure you're quilting within the area that this can reach without messing up your design, because you don't want the ruler base to hit this pole, which it will. Okay, so pull it forward after you put the ruler base on and see how far you can quilt, and then make a little mark. So my little mark is, and I just barely made it, so I would just mark right up here, pulling it forward on my quilt. So this little green strip right here is probably how far I would quilt. So I want to make sure that all my designs fit within that area, because if I was quilting along and all of a sudden I hit, it's going to throw off your design. So just make sure you're watching that as well. That's just one of those little tips that, yeah, you learn the hard way. You don't like it. So anyway, so let me just show you how it works with the ruler. And we'll just do a little guide. And I'm not going to pull up my thread. This is demonstration purposes, so forgive me. We're just going to move through them as fast as possible so you can see all the exciting things you can do with each of the different feet. So I just wanted to show you how it works with the ruler. And notice, because of our rulers, our TrueCut rulers, that it has the raised edge, and I put the grips on it. You have the lines for marking, but you also have the holes, which really help you to stabilize it. So as we're quilting, we can just kind of make our lines. And then you can kind of move along. You don't have to cut your thread. And we'll just go 1/4 of an inch or inch, because you got to think of your offsets. And just keep moving along. And you can even go in the ditch if you want. And keep going using your ruler. And just kind of play with it. Boy, you'll get to know your ruler really well. And then you'll just want to turn it the other way and go back up and make your grid. Or you could just use the lines and do a zigzag up it. Oh, God, there's so many ways to quilt. And then you could do your grid. You could do little grid designs. But the options are endless when it comes to using the ruler foot, the templates, and the different ways of quilting. So let me show you the micro stipple foot. This allows you to see more of your surface area as you're quilting, so it allows you to make your stitches tinier. That's why it's called micro. Let's bring up our threads right here, and I'm just going to fill in an area, or just show you how to fill in an area, or what it does. Because you can do a stipple design, you can do little circles, you could do little pebbles. This is just a fun little foot to use as you're quilting. So let's just try a few and see what it turns out like, okay? So here's some pebbles. Just little pebbles as you're quilting. And I like to go a little slower. Granted, I am, because right now of my hand. Now you could try it in manual mode or cruise mode. But notice how it's just allowing me to fill in that area and make my little pebbles that much better and that much nicer. So let's try a little stipple design. So let's turn it on. It just allows you to make little tiny stitches. Now, notice with the curvy stitches, you want to have a smaller SPI, and that's a smaller stitches per inch. So maybe I might want to go up to 14. And let's try cruise mode. So 14 in cruise mode. That looks like a much better to me. And as you're stippling along, see, I like cruise mode, so try the different ways of quilting. Don't be stuck in that box, please. And you could even do it closer together. I mean, just really make it micro stipple. Okay, I can do this all day. I just think it's so much fun. You know, the micro stipple foot will allow you to enhance an applique so you can stipple around it. Or if you had a circle design like I'm doing and you're filling in, it's going to draw that eye to that little filler section, and maybe that's what you want. But try the different ways of using the feet. The micro stipple foot is awesome, and it's just another fun way to make your quilt that much more dynamic and pleasing to the eye. So try it out. Now let me show you the open toe. What's nice about the open toe is that if you have a design, say a feather design, and on feathers you're stitching back over an already stitched line, it's going to give you that line of sight that you need to stay on that. And that's what I'm going to show you now. I'm going to try our hand at a feather. So I'm going to start at this end and make my stem. I'm going to start at the top of my stem and come down. So I'm going to pull my threads up. And then I'm going to start coming up one side, and then I'll stop, cut it off, and then I'll come back down to the bottom. Or I can travel along my stem again. Doesn't matter. It's all on how you want to quilt and how you quilt your feathers. It's totally up to you. Okay, so let's just go for it. And see, I want to get right along there. See how it's allowing me to see? And go right along that line there. I'm kind of getting off a little bit, but see, it's allowing me to get right back on that line. So it's because I can see where my needle's going. Okay, now I'm going to just travel along my stem again. Okay, so now I can come down, try and fix my interesting feather design by putting little branches off and coming back on them. Have fun. I mean, you know, this feather's not the most beautiful, but you know what? I'm having fun. And by me adding these little, I don't know, highlights on it, maybe it's helping, maybe it's not, maybe it's looking a little more messy, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. All right, there's my wonderful feather. Not too bad for a girl who broke her arm 2 weeks ago. Anyway, I just filled it in and noticed that it looks like a feather. And that was what was so fun. And it actually does help, that open toe does help you stay as close to the line because you can see the needle and it's opened it up. So try it out. Don't let my little quilting stop you. Let's see what you can do with the 3-piece hopping foot set. I'd love to see it, so you can email me at Karla with the K, K-A-R-L-A at graceframe.com and show me what you do with these feet. Now let's jump in and let me show you the 9-piece hopping foot set. In the 9-piece hopping foot set, you will get this neat looking foot that has a little plastic around it. This foot makes it possible so you're using one foot, but several different inserts. And we're going to start with our little diamond foot. So when you're putting this on, you're going to put it in with the red, matched up to the black piece right there. And then you're just going to turn it to lock it. It just sets the angle to do a crosshatch or a grid design. And this is the diamond foot. What's cool about it is you can use it from either side. So you can go from this side, and then you can come back down doing this side, and you have a nice little angle. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to angle my ruler, okay, and make sure that it goes so I can go from point to point. So I'm going to line my needle up, so it's going to start here in the ditch and go to the other ditch. So I'm going to have to make enough room, okay? I'm just going to hold it down. We're going to see how it goes with... And usually I want to change my needle to the down position, and I didn't do that on this. Okay, so I want to put my needle in a down position. So while I reposition my ruler, that's really important, okay? So now I can come back along, come back down on this area, just right here, just a little bit, and now I can go back that direction. And just make a grid. And you can go back and forth, making your angles all you want, and make a little grid design. Crosshatch is what I'm trying to say. And you can make them as wide as you want. I could even go a little wider, so I could come down. So I had it a little smaller. Now I want to come down just a tad. Okay, now let's try it the other direction. So let me move it up this way, and we will come back this direction and just make a little fun crosshatch. So, just to show you how, not a crosshatch. So this is how this works. It's a lot of fun. You just need to try it. And you can draw your lines out first. It's just going to help you be that much better. So you can get your lines and your angles just right. But that's a fun little cute little crosshatch. You can fill in the design using your Michael Stipple foot. There's just so many ways to quilt. So let's put on the grid and let me show you how the grid works. And I'm just showing you little things that you can do, but I can imagine that you will come up with a gazillion things that you can do. So let's change it to the square foot. It works really the same way. It's just straight across so you can make your grid design. So I'll put it on. We'll do a couple more of that. And then we're going to jump in and I'm going to show you some of the other feet. The square works the same way. It just moves along the edge of the ruler. Just moving along. Okay, so you decide how far out you want, okay? So you could work this direction and make it an inch going across, okay? And going back this way. Or it's a little bit more than an inch, but then you could do your little grid pattern this way. And make little boxes and use the line going up this way. And I'll stop it and then do one more. Wasn't a perfect set. And then you could, I'll do back and forth all the way up. You can do whatever you want to fill in these little grids. So, fun way to use this foot. The Echo foot has this little 1/4 inch offset. So if you're going around your design, it moves your needle a 1/4 inch all the way off, and then it gets larger and larger. So it just helps you as you're quilting set your spacing of your design on your quilt that much more evenly and that much more accurate. So these are, if you're doing an edge-to-edge design and free motion quilting, using these feet will really help you space the design across and down your quilt more even. Okay, I'm just going to start it up. As I'm coming around and in, See, I'm using my foot to kind of keep it offset. So you're using your foot as kind of the gauge to do the spirals. And just keep going around. So that helps you. So now I can use it to go around them because I'm using the edge of my foot to echo around it. Notice how I'm just using it, the edge right here, to go around it to repeat. Now I'll just go back up and use that edge and repeat. And that's what an echo stitch does. It's just repeat. But notice how I'm using the edge of the foot right along the last quilted line to repeat and keep going. That's what the echo foot will do. Now, the larger you get on the echo foot, the larger spacing that you will have as you're echoing or repeating around. Okay, so I have the larger of the echo feet on. Me keep my offsets kind of fun because I'm using my gauge as I'm going around. So just notice that it's going to make it a little wider and help you keep your spacing that much better. So try the different feet and see how they work and see what you can do with them. My next foot I'm going to talk about is the spoon foot. What's nice about the spoon foot is if you have a quilt that has a lot of seams, like a lot of little squares or seams intersecting, this helps it glide over those seams. So your foot doesn't catch on them and throw off your design. So it's just going to glide along the tarp, and it works the same way. So this is a great foot to have. I'm just going to jump in and show you the couching foot now. And now with the couching foot, there are 3 different sizes for the different yarns and threads to make your beautiful designs. So there's a large, a medium, and a small. And when they say large, medium, small, that means the little hole that the thread comes up through or goes through, they're large, medium, small. Okay, and you're just going to have to test and try the different yarns. I'm going to put on the large because I'm using this little minky yarn to show you how it works. So make sure that you're using the right style. If you cannot get this to go through the hole, then the hole is too small. Try a size up. But you don't want it too large. And the reason I say that is if it's too small and you're using the larger foot, you're going to see your little, it's not going to sew it down. You're going to have little areas to where it's not quilting this down to your quilt. And we'll go through and show you that. So with this, what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to put your needle down. I'm going to get started before we... And then I'm just going to start quilting. Okay, so I like to pull it down and then with the couching foot, it just uses the thread to make your designs. It's so much fun. And notice I'm using cruise mode because the needle's going down several times. This is just another way to enhance your quilting. Think of how fun it'd be to make a baby quilt using this all the way across. All right, just see how much fun that is to enhance your quilt. There's 3 different sizes of the couching foot. There's 3 echo feet. There's a spoon foot that glides across your extra seams seamlessly. And also, there are so many other ways to quilt. There's the diamond foot to do your crosshatch. There's the grid foot to do your grids. And then we have our ruler foot, we have our micro stipple foot, and our open toe. So many ways to quilt, so many choices. It's like shoes. How are you going to choose? And what are you going to choose? And I want to see what you do with your new hopping foot set of hopping feet. So please email me, Karla@graceframe.com. That's Karla with a K, Karla @graceframe.com, so that we can show your artistic viewpoint on using the hopping foot. Thank you for joining me today. I've had a blast showing you the different feet. It's so much fun. So if you have any questions, please comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow our Instagram. Make sure that you sign up for our education on our website and register there, and visit our website at graceframe.com, or contact your local dealer on Karla. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I've had so much fun. Here at the Grace Company, wishing you the best. We'll see you next time.